Hi, welcome to the Forecasting for Success podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brie. I'm a doctor of psychology, financial educator, astrologer, and founder of Forecasting for Success, a community of people improving their financial literacy to achieve financial independence. I blend my expertise as a former professor and financial intelligence analyst with the tool of astrology to help break down why you are struggling with specific money habits and the best way to form more intentional responses and choices when it comes to money, especially to help you feel more secure in your financial decisions and improve your money skills for building long-term wealth. Welcome back to the Forecasting for Success podcast. Thank you so much for being here, and remember to subscribe, rate, and review the show, which is very helpful in supporting myself and the podcast. And if you're wondering where to get started when it comes to getting your money in order and improving your financial situation, you can go to forecastingforsuccess.com/free-resources to take my free financial personality quiz, and I'll send you a personalized money plan for wherever you're at with your finances. This week, Venus is conjunct Chiron. On June 1st at exactly 9:53 p.m. Central European Time, both Venus and Chiron will be at 25 degrees and 44 minutes of Aries. We have to pay attention when one of astrology's pain points like Chiron is activated, since these hold the key to personal transformation in our lives. When we put in the work with these pain points, like Chiron and Saturn, it genuinely helps ourselves and our lives improve and evolve in ways that you would never have thought were possible. When Venus is conjunct Chiron, we need to be more present with or cognizant of how we are relating to others and how we are both giving and receiving care from others. Since both are in the sign of Aries, this is about doing and actioning things like caring for others. So it's a good time to assess if your actions and intentions when caring for others benefit both of you or just one of you, and vice versa when others do things for you that are meant to show you care. Maybe your or their values have changed, or maybe they were misunderstood, and the actions meant to show care need to evolve to ensure that you or they are cared for in ways that honors your needs. Since Venus is still trine Mars, this may be a good time to gently let someone know if values or actionable needs have changed, since Mars is also about doing and taking action. Just remember to try and pick a neutral, calm time if possible to bring up potential sensitive topics, since Chiron and Mars can cause more emotional reactions in their own unique ways. Venus conjunct Chiron can also represent being confronted with our fears and insecurities around our value to ourselves or others. This may be a time when emotions bubble up about, are you doing enough to support yourself and your goals, as well as enough for the people you care about? This can be a time when you're more sensitive to others' approval and acceptance. Remember to be gentle with yourself and loved ones if old hurts or pain come up. The purpose is meant to serve as a mile marker for progress towards self-acceptance and progress towards goals that support your evolution as a person, that get you closer to your present values. The focus is meant to be on healing. If an event or reminder brings up painful or negative emotions, remember to practice your breath work and ground yourself into self-compassion so that you can move away from fears and insecurities and towards stability and security when it comes to accepting yourself and what you value and how to action these values to make them real and supportive for you. So those are the two major themes of this week's Venus transit. And now I'd like to switch topics and discuss credit and how credit works, since we briefly touched upon this topic in last week's episode. Just as a reminder, I'm not a fan of the credit system. This is not the best system that could possibly exist, and it still takes advantage of people. So this is meant to help you navigate the credit system and is not meant as an endorsement of it existing. Let's start with understanding what is credit and why it exists. Less than 100 years ago, banking was a very personal experience. If you wanted to borrow money, you would need to walk into a bank and talk a loan officer into giving you a loan. You would have needed to show proof of employment and even personal references of who could vouch for your character as being a good and trustworthy person who would pay the money back to the bank. The loans also required collateral, which meant that the bank would need something of value to hang on to in case you did not pay back the loan. The rise of credit cards changed lending to rely on unsecured lending, meaning no collateral was needed to borrow money. And this type of lending is also more profitable for banks. A credit reporting system was invented to give banks a centralized place to verify information about borrowers, which we see as our credit scores. Your credit score is a 3-digit number calculated from the information in your credit report that lets financial lenders know how likely you are to repay a loan or credit on time compared to other borrowers. A credit score can go up to 850, but anything over 800 is considered excellent. A credit score in the 600s isn't the worst, but you'll likely be denied by banks from obtaining credit or taking out a loan. Anything between 700 to 800 is considered good, and you're more likely to obtain the credit that you need, but it might be at a higher interest rate than if you had a score in the 800s. The keys to having an excellent credit score are paying all bills on time every time, having a variety of credit in your name, and also using credit responsibly, which means not maxing out your credit cards or suddenly trying to open several credit cards and take out loans all at the same time. So, how do these credit bureaus calculate your score exactly? On average, there are 5 elements that are calculated together to produce your credit score. About 35% of your score is based on paying your debts on time. 30% of your score is based on how much debt you owe to lenders. 15% of your score is based on the length of your credit history. 10% is how much new credit you've requested. And 10% of your credit score is based on the variety of credit you have open. As a general rule, you'll want to keep your credit usage at 30% or less, otherwise your credit score will be negatively impacted. So this means that if you have a combined total of $10,000 available in credit between all of your credit cards, you want to have a total of $3,000 or less on the cards at any given time. If you were to have more than $3,000, then your credit score would go down. People often ask, why do different credit bureaus have different credit scores? And that's because these percentages are just a general guideline and not a mandatory requirement. Some credit bureaus use different percentages and even have additional criteria. These nuances are why your credit score will vary between each bureau, but your scores should be pretty close together. If you see really large differences between your scores, then one of the reports is likely to have incorrect information on it. If you think your credit report has incorrect data, remember to contact that credit bureau to dispute the false information and have it removed from your report. Since paying your bills on time accounts for such a large percentage of your credit score, it's a good idea to automate your payments to ensure at least the minimum amount owed each month will always be on time. Any negative activity recorded on your credit report can harm your ability to take out a loan or open a credit card, as well as receive low interest rates. Negative activity may be recorded on your credit report for up to 10 years, so that's a long time to be charged higher interest rates or not receive the type of credit that you need. A best practice is to pay your credit card before the close date. The close date refers to the date when your monthly balance and payment activity is reported to the credit bureaus. So it's a good idea to lower your amount owed and show proof of paying on time before a monthly update is reported to the bureaus. Your credit card statements and apps should make the close date very easy to see and understand. Your credit card company should also make it easy to find out how to automate payments. So remember to set up this option if this habit works best for you. Remember that you are not limited to making one payment a month on your credit card. If you can set an automatic payment for the minimum balance to make sure you're never late and never miss a payment, and then manually pay more money on a different day, this is also a good practice. For example, if you're using the debt avalanche method to pay off debt and are paying $135 a month on a credit card that you're trying to pay off, you can automate the minimum payment of $35 and then set a calendar reminder to pay the other $100 based upon what date works for you. So this could be $100 on a payday or $25 each week of the month. It's your choice to develop a financial plan that works for your financial situation and preferred habits. Automating your debt payments helps you be more likely to reach your debt-free goals, so I do encourage this whenever possible. Ideally, you'll want to reach a point where you can pay your credit card in full each month and not carry debt month to month. This will allow you to collect credit card reward points that you can redeem for things like free hotel nights or even plane tickets, which are my two favorites, and also not pay any interest on your debt. For many years now, I've stopped using my debit card and use my credit cards to pay for almost everything, and I make sure to pay the cards in full each month. One of my favorite things to do is to travel, and it's a good feeling to go on vacation and know that my reward points purchased my plane tickets and are paying for my hotels. In my Forecasting for Success stock market course, I go into greater detail about the astrology of the origin of credit cards, what is the debt avalanche method and how to use it to pay off debt faster, how to pay off debt while also investing in the stock market, and lots more when it comes to managing your personal finances. So I'd love for you to join the community and gain confidence and skill in successfully managing your personal finances. I hope this information helps you to navigate the transits and energy of this week, as well as how to be more intentional with your money. I want to thank you so much for joining me this week on Forecasting for Success and let you know that you can read the transcript for each podcast episode on my website, which is linked below in the show notes. I've also included the link to send me your money questions if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast at forecastingforsuccess.com/podcast. And if you're ready to get started on improving your financial literacy and developing your own personalized money plan, I encourage you to join my Forecasting for Success community, where I teach you everything you need to know about budgeting, how to choose your retirement number, how to invest in the stock market, and so much more. I go live in the community each month to check in on your progress and help answer any questions you may have. And it's a supportive community where you can also check in with other members and learn from their experiences as well. I hope you take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you next week.